to our next session. I'm really pleased to have Hewlett Packard Enterprise as part of our workshop. We have Ashwin and Mani who will be presenting on their success story with business operations self-healing. And I would like to hand over the word to their SAP Technical Quality Manager, Praveen. So Praveen, please, over to you.
Yep. Thank you, Alina. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. So this is a customer session. So I would like to introduce the customers from HPE here. So before that, I just wanted to briefly set an idea about what kind of an engagement at the max attention level we have at HPE. So if you see the HPE's engagement, we have been working with HPE since 12 years. It's a long time since we are working. We know each other's strengths. We complement each other's successfully. Together, we have been able to deliver very big engagements. Some of the things like it goes back to the days when HPE was not split. One of the key things for the HPE Enterprise spin-off, which was a mammoth project. Then comes the GL migration project, RAR project, which was again a big one. So these are the things which was pre-S4 era, and HP was one of the first few customers in North America to start their S4 journey. So since then, we have been able to go live with their central finance, go live with their S4 logistics. So how was this possible? So if you see one of the key agenda items for HPE for max attention is innovation. Innovation is the priority. To say that it's not easy, there is a lot of work done by Ashwin and Mani here to get their COE ramped up, and majority of the operations things are taken care, and max attention as such, we don't get involved in any of the day-to-day operation work. This gives us a big bandwidth for us to focus on the innovation initiatives. Having said that, at this point of time, from the max attention and HP partnership, we are driving 5 critical innovation-related focused POCs now. Okay, so how is this possible? Because we always value what HPE business wants, and each of the engagements outcome we try to measure in terms of the value we create in terms of qualitative or quantitative, and of course enhancing the customer experience given to the HPE business. How is this possible? Doing a lot of things at the same time is where we are using the rapid prototyping approach. So we take a smaller things of scope into consideration. We take it, we roll it out in a kind of production ready model. We ask the business users for the feedback, incorporate it in the next, and bringing the agile mindset into possible. During this particular rapid prototyping, what we do is we also engage with the HP COE so that we can bring them up to the speed and they can start rolling out further innovations. The other key part of our engagement I would want to tell here is about the mutual trust we have, and max attention being considered as a trusted advisor. We respect each other, and this is what is keeping us going long term. And how it is being possible, that takes it to the next thing, which is kind of being proactive. So collaborating is the key. Collaborating is the key here. What we do is most of the HP colleagues come with crazy ideas. We nurture them with our knowledge and make something reality here. So one of such stories is today what Ashwin and Mani are going to share. We started in last quarter of 2018 talking about how we can make something self-healing and something automation with self-help. So that is the time when this internally within SAP, the Bosch was being made as a product, and that is where our journey with Bosch started. So I request Ashwin, who is a global senior director for platforms, and Ashwin, who is a principal consultant, to talk about how the Bosch journey was made possible. Thank you very much, and Ashwin, all yours.
Thanks, Praveen. Thanks, Linda. Are you able to hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the members on this call. Hope all are doing well and staying safe during the pandemic situation. But it's always a great pleasure to interact with SAP and their teams, irrespective of any occasion. And special thanks to the SAP Max Attention team for extending the invite to HPE on this customer spotlight session. And of course, thanks for the warm introduction. The partnership between HPE and SAP speaks to itself on how we collaborate and co-innovate. And I'm equally delighted and proud to be here on behalf of Hewlett Packard Enterprise to share our journey on this new AI enablement in collaboration with SAP. I shall quickly introduce myself. I'm Ashwin Somasundaram from HPE, and I run the SAP basis operations from an infrastructure, engineering, and innovations perspective for global IT. I'd also like to introduce Manikant from HP, who is also in this call, and he is our principal SAP architect who has been instrumental in this journey. HP is a well-known and global edge-to-cloud platforms as a service company. We have gone through some major successful transformations within the company from an organization and technology perspective. We are constantly innovating, evolving according to the needs of our customers and market trends, especially towards everything as a service. And all these are constructed upon our strong beliefs and vision at HP that we truly treasure, cherish, and take pride in it. And as you can see in this slide, I'm really I'm going to talk about this beliefs and vision. And so we at HPE believe strongly on accelerating what's next, bold moves, the power of as we can, and being a force for good. I mean, kindly allow me to decode on those beliefs and vision. So accelerating what's next is imagining what's possible and getting out to go get it and understanding who we are trying to serve. It's about anticipating what's coming next for our customer needs or our partner needs, and what are the big technology trends that we see, and also what do we think our competitors would be doing, and incorporating all those ideas and different trends that we see, and anticipate those and being in the front of them. We believe in bold moves, and which means bracing courage over discomfort, trying things that were not tried before, even when they go against your instinct. I take myself as a classic example. I was born and raised in India, lived in England, did my education, started working for companies, but wasn't content with that. I was aspiring to be a part of something bigger, and I had an opportunity to move to the US, for which I'm very grateful and thankful. And I was ready to start all over again. And as far as I'm concerned, I believe that as a bold move. So from being a technology consultant to a senior director running the SAP basis practice for one of the esteemed tech company in the world like HPE is purely because HPE let me be myself. And this tells us ultimately you may not get a breakthrough unless you're willing to push your boundaries and start to try new different things. I believe, and we believe in HPE, in the power of yes we can, which is really back to the team, and that team believing that they are serving for a greater purpose, and that team being able to persevere during diverse situations. And to me, it's all about in the mindset to always think you will be able to execute better than the others. You are going to take chances with the marketplace with innovative approaches, and you're not going to worry about making a decision that might bring disruption. As far as you believe, or we believe, and yes, we can. And when it comes to delivery, all our HP teams are in this together. And that's what drives me and my team. And I'm successful only because my teams are successful. And we believe in being a force for good. And the essence of it is, think about the others first rather than yourself, whether it's fellow employees, different towers, different teams. This force for good brings in diversity on how we approach to a certain problem or a challenge, and how we solve it and providing a better outcome. So all these beliefs pivots into HP's unshakable DNA, where we always put the customer first, partner, innovate, and act without any compromise. So if we can move to the next slide, where we can really talk about the motivation and discovery. Let me provide some insight on what inspired us in taking this path and the real motivation that led to this discovery. So we at HPIT have a very well-established SAP team, and I adore my team. They run three major work streams in our organization, which is the operations followed by engineering and innovation. I was very keen on my team to focus on innovation and engineering, but the day-to-day operations, takes a toll on my team at any given day, let alone a control period, a month-end close, or escalations, etc. I don't think I need to explain those situations in this forum, as many other organizations that runs SAP goes through this cycle. Bottom line, this always becomes a major overhead and makes my team to pivot only into day-to-day operations versus anything beyond that. So I really wanted to give them their time back where they can focus more and get motivated to work beyond their boundaries. So they get to what they really deserve in terms of knowledge, new innovations, and of course, credibility. Basis team most of the times are always the unsung heroes, but not up here in HPE. So most importantly, and personally, it was very important for me to make the difference, given the fact my grassroots are from the same background. So this was one of my key motivating factor, and our key motivating factor: make use of the technology to give the teams a break. And second to that, our operational opportunities were right in front of us in the form of issues and problems. So myself, along with my engineering team, kind of did a bottoms-up approach where we identified the scope on addressing each of those issues and problems from a micro level to a macro level. Be it providing a live status of our production systems for leadership across the globe, resetting a user password, role request, so advanced monitoring and alert notifications from our monitoring systems. And those alerts automatically invoke an incident ticket to our ITSM. And in turn, those tickets get an auto confirmation upon resolution, on-demand automated system copies, post-copy automation, etc. But there is still always a human factor that gets involved in all of these operational activities. So in short, what we were focusing is to have a self-service kiosk kind of a tool, and we strategize them on a use case by use case basis, and based on the issues that we face day in and day out. So the byproduct of this lets us into enhancing our existing tools, which eventually made the tool to do what it's supposed to do or intended to do. This directly helped our team to operate in a pretty agile mode. Most importantly, it did let us create a workflow in connecting one tool with the other. But in spite of all these enhancements, there was still some element that was missing, and which is the central framework, which I call it as, and with some capabilities to achieve our concept of self-service. This is how and when SAP Max Attention TQMs, Praveen, Rajesh, and they came in to make the difference by connecting the dots. And we together started embarking on this journey of the conversational AI and machine learning using bots and robotics process automation. So if you move on to the next slide, where I'm just trying to go and unleash the platform of Bosch at HPE. So as you can see, we enhanced our tools, that supports our operations, ITSM tools, SharePoint, Focus Run, Solution Manager, building enriched dashboards, enhancing our operational control center using Focus Insights, and GRC and S4. But as you can see, the end-to-end, the central framework that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago was kind of sufficed our journey towards this AI platform, end-to-end AI platform. And more than this kind of provided a landing zone for the Bosch by itself. And HPIT team, in collaboration with SAP Max Attention, have piloted a hybrid platform solution using this conversational AI to run HP, SAP, and non-SAP business operations at Global IT. It's a self-driven tool, orchestrates on demand, and seamlessly integrates with many of our HPIT internal systems. So actions that require manual intervention for operations are replaced by bots, delivering an unmatched operational efficiency. Most important to be noted, right, with immediate results. So this balance of AI and ML brings on self-healing to self-help, providing an enticing end-user experience. So it's predominantly a kind of a self-taught approach, if you will. And this is a solution that we believe it addresses, tomorrow's needs that we run today at HPE. So this is HPE transitioning on running next-gen SAP IT operations. So I shall just pause here for a second before going to the roadmap, because I don't want to steal the show, versus I shall let the show speak to itself. And I'll let you hear from the technologist from HPE, Manny, to introduce himself and talk about how the Bosch talks for SAP HPE IT systems, and showcase a live demo and of how this hybrid platform works. And I'm equally impatient as you all, but trust me, it's worth the wait, and you get to see and get the look and feel of this tool. And then we can address the other slides on the roadmap and what's next. So over to you, Mani.
Mani, unfortunately, we can't hear you clearly. Now there was at least something, but we can't hear you good, to be honest.
So let me from the phone or something. So give me 1 second. I'm sorry. It's been acting up.
So far you're breaking up. We can't hear you loud and clear. So it is at least me who can't. Do you want to try it again? Now I can't hear you at all. It might be caused due to unstable internet connection. It might help if you would turn off your camera in that moment. Maybe that helps. Let's try it at least. Let's give it a try. Mani, can you hear us at all? It seems like now we lost him completely. Alina, would you be so kind and confirm that you also can't hear Mani?
Yes, I was not able to hear him.
Okay. Mani, would you like to try to turn off your video? Maybe it's due to the internet connection.
I think Linda, he's not able to hear you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just saw that he redialed in from another device. Let's try.
Recording.
Okay, we could hear a huge echo, meaning Mani managed to dial in from a second device. Is that correct, Mani?
That's correct. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear. Perfect. Thank you so much.
I'm extremely sorry, guys. Sorry to keep you on hold. Internet has been acting all morning. So let me share my screen. Thank you for the opportunity in the first place. And thank you, Ashwin, for all the good words you have shared for this program, as well as for me. So that said, I'll not take too much of a time. I'll just directly get into the demo. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. My name is Mani. I'm a principal architect for HPE Global IT, and running architecture and infrastructure services for SAP basis. So that's it. We started working, as Ashwin tried to explain earlier, we started working on a kind of a strategy, how we can benefit our HPE Global IT with the kind of a tool that can be you know, provide a good end user experience, as well as kind of as a self-healing or self-operational capabilities. And we did work a few tools in the past too, but you know, of late, when we had this discussion with our Max Attention partners, Praveen and Rajesh, they came up with this fancy idea of using Bosch as a platform for it. So we started our journey with identified a few scenarios in scope, and slowly we started ramping one after the other, and finally we are here with you know, a beta version of this particular tool, and which we have released it to some section of our end users, and we're getting quite a good response. So that all said, I'll get started with our demo here. So this is our Bosch platform that we have introduced for HPE Global IT. So we kind of you know, it's a customized version for HPE to specific. And when we started this journey, we tried to identify what are the scenarios we wanted to cover and things like that. First and foremost scenario, what we thought is, you know, how to provide a good quality ticket creation experience for our end users. And being, you know, ITSM these days is becoming the platform for the operations and teams and stuff like that. So we thought this is the best scenario we could get started with, and we started prototyping how we can do this with the Bosch platform. And with you know, coordination and with Andy, Glenn, and Ashwani from SAP, we were able to get into the technicalities and stuff like that. So let me go into a rundown of our first scenario, number one, the quality ticket creation. So quality ticket creation, now we can say that, you know, how did this benefit HPE, right? So normally ticket creation is a ticket creation. Why does this need to get into Bosch? Could be a common question that we also faced, as well as any customer would face, right? So there are a lot of things that we thought how this will be beneficial for us. As of today, we see if you see our end users or, you know, business users, if they try to create a ticket on their own, there could be a lot of delays because the tickets are getting assigned to wrong queues, or, you know, the tickets are going into wrong buckets, and from then it needs to transition, and in the meantime the SLAs gets impacted for the business user, but technically the SLAs have just kicked in as the ticket gets into the right bucket. So these kinds of challenges were driving us as well as our SLAs quite high. So that's when we thought, you know, how can we leverage the machine learning ability of Bosch in creating a quality ticket or, you know, environment. So we fed all our ServiceNow ticket dumps and things like that into the Bosch platform, machine learning platform. And once it has, we have given close to 6 to 8 months of our ServiceNow dumps to the platform, and, you know, from there the platform consolidated all the data, and it was able to come up with a very clean format of creating a quality ticket. So I'll show this as a classic example. So when you enter the Bosch, now our users have an ability to create a ticket. And then we did ask, what kind of a ticket are you looking for? Are you looking for a very high, medium, low? And we'll take, we took as a, let's take a simple example that, you know, we need to create. Can you briefly describe the problem you're having? So I am about to tell that, you know, hey, my remote desktop is not working. Can you please take a look at it? Kind of a thing. It's just a message. Remote desktop agent is not working, and I gave some details to it. And the moment we give the details to the Bosch platform, it was able to come with a ticket created to our Windows teams, and we don't give any further details to the user no need to give any further details. Using the machine learning algorithms, it was able to figure out that the issue is with the remote desktop, and remote desktops are normally tagged to Windows, and that's why it created a ticket to the Windows platform. And once it'll ask, is this all you're looking for? Are you happy with this? And the moment I say yes, it goes and generates a ticket in our ServiceNow tool. And the regular SLAs for the tool kicks in. So this made the life of the end users a lot easy and comfortable. And especially when the ticket numbers and the link of the ticket is also getting displayed here, it's even more comfortable because they don't need to juggle between multiple screens and stuff like that. So this is one classic example where we thought, we will, when we have this kind of technology in our environment, it will help our user base. And rightly, with the right collaboration, we were able to accomplish our target. And I'll also show this ticket how this normally helps. Let's say, let's if you say that any other issue, you want to report another issue on how things goes. So I said that okay, create another low ticket for me. And this time, let's say you have a problem with your SAP space, and iDocs are not flowing out of your environment, and try to create a ticket for it. So the machine learning platform inside the Bosch is smart enough to detect which team this particular ticket has to go to. Earlier ticket was sent to Windows, but this ticket is now going to the basis queue, which is the right queue to go in. So this is how we were able to bring up our use cases. I mean the fundamental use case of how to create a quality ticket in our environment. And we are seeing quite some good feedback from our user communities on the way this particular tool is behaving at this point of time. Of course, data is the backbone of everything. So the more and more data we feed to this particular tool is more accuracy we are going to get back. So that's the first scenario we thought we will demo on our Bosch platform today. And I will quickly move on to the second use case that we thought, which was very useful for our user communities, is with password reset scenarios. So especially with SAP applications, right? So password reset has been a long has been a common issue for many of the users, where they tend to forget their password, or their password expires or something like that. They need to create tickets. And without pre-Bosch platform, we have the GRC end user service tool, and we have our direct ticket creation to the security teams. These were the two mechanisms where they were able to accomplish this password reset scenarios. But we thought we'll be more creative and try to give a platform where they can do it for themselves instantly, which certainly helps us in many of our during our major incidents, or when everybody's working on a P1 issues. We do hear that okay, my password is not working, I need to get it reset, and you waste like 10, 15, 20 minutes of time is lost in the reset process. We thought all this can be avoided, and we can put a more healthy and efficient work environment by doing this level of automation. And that has prompted us to get into the reset password scenario. So that said, so we took an example of this use case for the password reset, and let's go and see how the password reset goes. So when we say password reset on our environment, it gives you a list of all the systems that you have potentially configured, and that will work for this particular system. So it's all a set of systems. So I'll pick one of our system and say that hey, I want to reset my password. So what this tool is efficiently designed in a way that it picks up your user ID in your SAP system by the way you log in, and when you log in, you have used your email ID configured in the backend. So and from the system, it picked up my user ID automatically and say, do you want to reset the password for that particular user? And the moment I say yes, it does come back with a reset password. And it's not taking hours or minutes or anything. It just comes back in seconds, which was very, very efficient. And most importantly, it's helping the teams concentrate in other pockets versus trying to spend them trying to address user password reset tickets or something like that. So this was our second scenario, which we thought will be a great help for our user community. Again, we put all the safety bells and whistles in and around the password reset. So if I try to reset a password for any of my other colleagues in our environment, no, the tool will not let you do that. Instead, it will go and create a ticket for resetting the password to the security team itself. That way, there is security enabled into this particular tool to not reset some other's passwords and things like that. And even in our GRC workflow also, if you reset a password, your resetted password gets to you in an email. So will be in this particular tool. You will still get an email saying that your password is reset and this is your new password. So that was our second scenario, which we thought will be a great benefit for our user communities. And rightly so, it is proving that it is very beneficial for our organization. That too, with a vast number of systems in our environment, we can avoid huge number of tickets, thereby reducing some OpEx cost for the organization by this level of automation. So that's the second use case that we thought we will demo to this SAP forum. And the third use case that we thought will be helpful for this community is on the system availability. So of people who are familiar with working in basis or basis background, we do get number of false tickets day in day out saying that okay, the system is down, or I'm not able to log in, even though they're not able to connect to the internet or something like that. You still get messages saying system is down or system is inaccessible. Can you please take a look at this kind of a messages? So what we thought is, okay, we will give users a self answer for their concerns if the system is really available or not, right? So what that means is, instead of we going and answering through a ticket or anything like that, if the user has the ability to validate by themselves, then we can avoid a huge number of tickets, is what we thought. And that was the background of this particular functionality. So system availability check. What we are doing is, if the user wants to know if a particular system is available or not, when he sees a problem that he was not able to connect and things like that, he can certainly go and check, is the system available by any chance or not. And the moment he picks and chooses the system, the background API calls will make a successful or a failure call and comes back and say whether the system is up or not. So this is not a big or a strong technical use case, but this is a very real-time scenario, especially for HPE with huge number of systems in scope. We were able to avoid large number of false tickets saying system is not available, kind of a thing. So, and the other use case that we thought will be helpful for our user communities is mainly on the performance issues. We get to hear a lot of, again, a lot of false alarms, especially in the performance areas, okay, what is working, what is not working in our environment, is there an issue, kind of a thing. So what we thought is, let's create our performance dashboard also, embed that into this chatbot. So in our global IT, we have focused run, we have our OCC focused insight dashboards. So we integrated our focused runs and focused insight dashboards into this chatbot. So if any user clicks and says that, hey, my system is having an issue, then instantly the users will get a response saying, do you want to look at the dashboards? So, would you like to review the performance dashboards before proceeding? The moment the user says yes there, so we have provided links for our, focused on dashboards and focused insight dashboards, and lots of things like this. And the moment a particular user launches any of those links, they get to see all our dashboards that we configured, and it displays all the metrics for two reasons. One thing is, this can avoid a lot of false tickets. And most importantly, the user community can get a first-hand system level metric information to themselves without even reaching out to other towers, or not to depend on any other organizational products. So even providing after all of this, we did provide a provision to see if we can create the ticket, continue to create it in a ticket, and the users can still continue to create the workflow. And then we started asking some more technical questions like what is the level of issue you are having, and what was that previously taking, and how long this issue has been happening. This level of automation was done, and this aptly suits our business case. So in the interest of time, I will probably run through one more scenario that we wanted to run here. It's something called our knowledge-based portal. So we HPE Global IT we have a lot of automations, and we have a lot of operations with so many SAP environments in place. You do get daily a frequent number of MIs, and each MI or each P1 tickets, you get to learn a lot of stuff which can be reused, right? So we were thinking of introducing a platform where we can put all this all these available information or data in one spot, and which can be read easily and conveniently. And that is where we were able to come up with something called help portal. So all we do at this point of time is we talk to our chatbot and say, I need help. And then it's the chatbot we have embedded. We using the machine learning capability of the chatbots. It was able to read through our portals and try to fetch the documentation of what the users are looking for as and when they ask it, right? Like, need help with early watch report. So in the backend, the chatbot is talking to our in-house knowledge-based portal, and it's trying to pick up all the keywords from what the user is asking, and it was able to provide the documentation of what we wanted the users to get to. So this is a typical example. This is really helping some of our business communities. Instead of they juggling between the SharePoints and things like that, at this point of time, we are in a common platform where they can ask our chatbot, and the chatbot gives them information from a single window. This scenario can be extended. I can drill down to multiple use cases that we have using this knowledge-based portal. But in the interest of time and the initial few minutes that I lost with my mic, I would like to have a quick check on the clock. Linda, and Praveen, so where are we in terms of time, or should we pass it back?
Yeah, so from my point of view, we can continue depending on how long you think you would need. Yeah, so we still have 5 minutes left officially, and then maybe 5 minutes overdue would not be a big issue.
Sure, perfect. So that said, there are other scenarios that we configured, which we will not demo it completely here, but for some compliance reasons. But we do have something called role request that we have integrated with the chatbot, where if a user wants to request a role, they can request the chatbot the particular role and the particular system they want to do it. And the chatbot is integrated seamlessly with our GRC environment, which and then it will make API calls to our GRC, and a role request will be placed for the user through the chatbot, and this will still follow and adhere to all the security and compliance policies that we have put in place pre-chatbot days. So we are not hitting any compliance, or we are not deviating any compliance issues here. We still follow all our security and compliance risks, and still able to address this from the chatbot, which was also another good use case that we are getting a feedback from our user communities. So this may not be a day-to-day for every user, but when you have 8,000, 9,000 people or 20,000 people in an organization, it's definitely a huge win for the organization overall, mainly reducing your OPEX cost on the ticketing and stuff like that. And the approval flow will not change. The approval flow will continue to be what it was for that particular role request. It's just that instead of creating a ticket, or instead of we reaching out manually to a security team, we could do the same level of automation using the chatbot. So these are mostly what I wanted to demo at this point of time. And I hope this particular tool will help many other customers. And with many brains coming in together, there could be many more scenarios that we can develop in the space. That said, thank you for the opportunity, and I'll pass it back to you, Linda.
Hey, Ashwin, I had a question. Have you replaced your existing service test system with this particular tool, or are you looking to do that?
So we integrated this with our ServiceNow. So Snow being a cloud service, right? So this Bosch integrates seamlessly with with your ServiceNow, and it doesn't need to break, or you don't need to open too much of a firewalls or anything like that. All it needs is a REST API authorization for the user. And both the tools being cloud native solutions, it was very easy to interact or integrate with your ServiceNow and Bosch.
So this particular front end that you have, what's this? Is this also accessible from a ServiceNow link?
No, this is specifically the URL that we are going to put into your home page, your company organizational home page, or however you want to embed it. We can embed it, but this has nothing to do with ServiceNow. But if the question is, can this be integrated in the ServiceNow page? Of course, yes.
Okay. Yeah, because yeah, just understanding the use case here is we are extensively on ServiceNow with over 50,000-60,000 users on that, and then migrating to such an environment may be very time consuming. So we're looking to see how we could somewhat integrate this within ServiceNow as an additional support for SAP related area, because our service desk is for all environments, just not SAP.
So in short, right, to answer your question, the expectation of this platform is to integrate with any ITSM tools. So hopefully it should be in a situation to get integrated with the service desk or ServiceNow, so on and so forth.
Okay.
So that's more about it, and maybe if you have any questions, we are happy to answer.
And on the technical setup of this thing, I understand from the initial, the workshop discussions that the SAP has got that integration layer to work with us. But how difficult was it for you all?
So two things. There is preparation for everything, right? Of course, if you want to bring it in a new tool, basically you need to iron out all the gaps, mainly with your cyber team and security teams, because this is where it is going to be an additional factor into your landscape, because this has to integrate with your cloud platform and things like that. So these are the challenges that we will run into in terms of integration. So is it a big huge Herculean task? No, but still we need to follow our policies. And I think for our POC, we were able to accomplish it in about 8 to 9 weeks overall, from the point of start to whatever scenarios we thought we wanted to configure in our environment. And that's on the very fast route, because we really wanted to explore this opportunity, and that is why we were able to accomplish in that period of time. Ashwin, you want to add anything here?
Yeah, and again, as I mentioned in my introduction, so you have to make sure you enhance your other tools that's going to support the Bosch platform, right? So unless you go and build your dashboards, you go and ask the Bosch, he's not going to fetch you anything. So you have to make sure you upgrade your solution manager, make sure you have enriched the dashboard, so it'll be easier for the bots to understand and pull the right metrics for the right level of audience.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you too, Hamid, for raising your questions verbally. Highly appreciated, and thanks a lot for answering them so far. We have a couple of questions in the chat, and I will just invite the speakers to open the chat as well, but of course I will read out loud the questions right now. Okay, the first one is, will you please let us know which platform and language your company used to build this help portal, and what interfaces it had to other systems like your ticketing system or ServiceNow, if applicable?
In our scenario, for the help platform, currently we are predominantly on SharePoints. So we're not using any specific tool at this point of time. We just integrated our SharePoints to the Bosch platform.
Okay, I hope this answered the question. Shikhar, please let us know in case there is further clarification needed. Thank you so much, Mani, for taking that one. The next one is raised by Vishnu. Bosch can integrate well with Service Desk Plus or only with ServiceNow? Who would like to take that one?
I think we already answered the question. So even there was a response back. It doesn't matter. So any ITSM tool should be capable enough for integration with Bosch. And if SAP can add any more additional answers to this.
Yeah, that's perfect, Ashwin. Yeah, we can integrate with any service desk system with an API for create, read, and update of the tickets. And it's very easy for us to add on additional systems. We just focused on what the sort of current market share was in the initial 3.
Perfect. Thank you so much for commenting on that as well, Andy. Good. Next one about knowledge article functionality. Is this coming from the KBAs in ServiceNow or password reset? Are you using GRC for the same, or is it a functionality provided by Bosch? A couple of questions in one.
So we are using, for password reset, we are using GRC. GRC was there, like I mentioned earlier. We do have our GRC self-service, user self-service tool as well. So Bosch integrated was seamlessly with our GRC environment. That's the second part of the question. And about the first part of the question, functionality, is this coming from KVAs in ServiceNow? So like I said, mentioned earlier, we integrated our SharePoints where we had sufficient documentation, and we fed the details into the machine learning ability of the Bosch. But the thought process behind is exactly the same, that we wanted to build our own knowledge-based portal for our organization, and trying to leverage and trying to add more flavor to it by hooking it up to a chatbot.
Cesar, I hope that this answered your questions. Last question, what I currently can see in the chat, and I can't see any hand raises, so in case you have any open questions, please feel free to raise them right now into the chat or press the hand raise button now. So last question in the chat so far, Solution Manager ITSM is mandatory along with ServiceNow Service Desk Plus?
I don't think so, because we don't use Solution Manager ITSM at this point of time in our environment, but I will leave this to Andy to answer from a product standpoint.
Thanks, Manny. So out of the box, we support ServiceNow, Solution Manager ITSM, BMC Remedy Cloud. As we said, I think for the earlier question as well, we can very easily add support for additional service desk tools. You would pick the tools that you have available. Primarily, most customers are using maybe one, but we do have the capability in there of defining multiple ticketing systems as well, and be able to sort of direct certain categories of ticket towards one system and different categories of ticket towards a different one. We saw in the demo earlier, we were able to sort of pick different ticketing connections for different scenarios there.
Okay. So no further questions at the moment from the customers. In case you have any open questions at the moment, please give me a sign within the next minute, a couple of seconds, please. Yes, there is one further question coming in through the chat. What is the relationship between Bosch and Enable Now service that SAP mentioned earlier? Who would like to take that one?
Maybe I just take that one. So there's no specific relationship between Bosch and Enable Now. Enable Now is one of a separate piece of software from SAP that sort of helps you with producing master documents and generating sort of training material, other user guides and so on from it, and also to generate these interactive demos based on the same material as well. So we don't use it specifically other than for supporting the events like we've had today, to give you a bit of an ability to sort of walk through some of the demos for yourself.
Thanks a lot for commenting on that one. Highly appreciated. And before closing that session, it seems like we can see Praveen's screen in the meanwhile again. Praveen, are you with us?
Maybe Ashwin, can you wrap this the last?
Yeah,
slide?
I think it's more of me to speak over this. So long story short, we have deployed this for our IT environment, and we see a potential for doing the same thing for from a business operations standpoint. So we are looking to automate second and third level IT support for HPIT environments, including SAP and non-SAP, and we also trying to expand the scope of automation within the business domains, and creating new business models for HP's services division, and so on and so forth. And it's all in the roadmap, and we are in a beta release mode because we didn't want to open the floodgates, and we just want to see how the tool is getting consumed. And there is enough potential, though. Again, it's not, the intention is not to wipe out all the L1 and L2 resources. That's not the intention. It's just that to make sure and empower them to do better things with this level of automation. And I close it there, and I thank SAP Max Attention, Praveen, Rajesh, and Andy, and Glenn's all teams. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us or reach out to SAP. But thanks for the opportunity and collaboration, and we really value that. Thanks a lot.
So this is also the point where we would like to thank the both of you, really, to take the time to represent HPE here as customer speakers. Thanks a lot. I'm very sure that this was very beneficial for the other customers. And thanks a lot for really taking the time to answer all the questions. It seems like we could manage to answer them all. So this is highly appreciated. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to a great collaboration. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mani and Ashwin. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Fantastic. Good. This was actually the end of our customer experience session, but not the end of our workshop today.